Afternoon. This is news at 1 now. The Occupy Luthuli House has presented its memorandum to ANC Secretary-General Gwede Mantashe. Mantashe accepted the memorandum a short while ago in Luthuli Square in Johannesburg. Members of the MK Veterans Association lined the streets in downtown Johannesburg in support of the ANC and attempted to prevent Mantashe from receiving the memorandum. The Occupy Luthuli House movement includes disgruntled ANC members who are calling for the resignation of President Jacob Zuma and the ANC-NEC leadership. One of the organizers, Ronald Lamola, said the movement believed that structures across the country would now engage in a process to renew the ANC.
We have submitted the memorandum, the SG has accepted it, and we appreciate that the ANC has we have delivered the message we wanted to deliver, and we believe that structures across the country they are going to be engaged in a process to renew the ANC. And that's why we are here. We have risked our life, we have risked everything that we have as young people. Others have risked employment, others have risked business opportunities and so forth, but it's good for the future of the country. And these young people will one day stand as the defenders of the real values of the ANC and the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. They came here despite all kinds of threats, all kinds of intimidation. They deliver the message. They don't want a lot of things. They just say restore the values of the ANC.
Now for more, we cross to our reporter Aldrin Sampear, who's been on site at Luthuli House.
Well, yes, we continue with our coverage of the hashtag Occupy Luthuli House protest or demonstrating. Those supporters and members have now left the area. Earlier on, they were at the Luthuli Square. They didn't make it all the way to Luthuli House, and the memorandum of demand was handed over to the Secretary-General of the ANC, Gwede Mantashe. It was a bit of a hustle, actually, trying to get him there, considering that members of the Mkhonto weSizwe Military Veterans Association tried to block him, saying that if he accepts that memorandum of demand, he will almost give some sort of legitimacy to this group that calls themselves hashtag Occupy Luthuli House. Right now I'm joined by the spokesperson of the ANC, Kusela. Kusela, it has been a tough day for the ANC, one must say, and actually was watching how Gwede Mantashe was probably at pains when he had to be pushed through members of the MKMVA to try and accept this memorandum of demand.
Indeed, it's been a long day. It's been a tiring day, but at the end of the day, like the Secretary General said, it was a victory for what the ANC has always stood for: a diversity of views, a contestation of ideas, and the strength that the ANC will continue to build on.
But it's the manner in which it was done, I guess, that the ANC wasn't happy with, or isn't happy with.
Yes, and I think, as you said in your introduction, you would have had, tensions running quite high. It is a very emotive issue. Luthuli House in particular is very close to the hearts of many ANC members and supporters. So it was to be expected that those who gathered here today would have done so out of a belief that they continue to protect, defend Luthuli House and the values of the ANC, and this is on both sides. We are happy, though, that everybody who came here today heeded the call for discipline. They showed extreme restraint, even in the case of provocation on both sides. And we're happy that as the day ends, again, the victory is a contestation of ideas and diversity of opinions.
One then wonders, when you look at the provocation that happened earlier on, whether when you have Ronald Lamola, for that matter, or Kukundima attending any ANC event, would they be welcomed during those events? Would you have a situation where they feel that they're safe within that environment?
Well, I would expect so. I would expect that members of the African National Congress do know that we hold different opinions. I mean, even besides those who came to march here today, the structures, as they're deliberating, we all hold polarized positions on what should be done to move forward. But at the core of it is about moving forward. So as we go through the processes that we're going through, which are necessary for the rebuilding and strengthening of the ANC, we should come together with the common position. We must stress that that common position must be found in the organic structures of the African National Congress through internal processes and discipline.
Just quickly before we go on to the memorandum of demand, earlier on we saw school children also here, part of what they call hashtag Defend Luthuli House. What's the ANC's message? It's during schooling hours. I guess that they should be in school.
That's news to me, Aldrin. I'll be honest, I would not have seen that. The African National Congress has not organized anybody to come through to Luthuli House, but as I indicated, I think for a lot of our supporters, this was an emotive issue to them. They did feel that it was provocative, and we are not in any way, supporting a situation where school children would be dragged out. School children should be in school learning and studying. So as we move forward, I'm sure that we'll all reassess what happened, what we could have done better in order to show that such a situation does not recur.
Let's then speak about the memorandum of demand. Some of those include that the leadership of the ANC should resign, in particular emphasis around President Jacob Zuma. What's the next step for the ANC?
Well, the Secretary-General Comrade Gwede Mantashe has received the memorandum. I think that it is now up to the leadership to be able to go through those demands, to process them. We must emphasize that this memorandum does not become more important than any other view that comes from structures of the ANC, that comes from civil society. We are taking it as part and parcel of the engagement that the National Executive Committee has called upon. We've called upon society to be part of the nation-building project, and receiving views such as this is part of that process. So once that process has been completed, the leadership is still visiting provinces. A consolidated report will be put together, presented to the ANC and ultimately society at large.
I wonder, would this memorandum of demand even make it to an NEC meeting, the NEC meeting that's coming up? Is it worth something to put on the agenda?
There's nothing that we're dismissing at this point. The principle is that not one view is more important than the other. However, we do have a process that we wish that comrades would have seen it necessary to follow. What you were talking about earlier with MK members saying that you're legitimizing a certain grouping, if you will. Obviously, it's part of the considerations that we would take on board to say branches of the ANC, where some of these comrades belong to, have also expressed themselves. Which view do we take? We don't know a movement called Occupy Luthuli House beyond what we would have seen here today. But nonetheless, at no point has the ANC sought to discourage anybody from engaging in it, and we're taking it in that spirit.
Just finally, earlier on, I know this morning when we spoke, when I asked whether the ANC will be considering taking any disciplinary action against the supporters or organizers of hashtag Occupy Luthuli House, you did say that there was no need to do anything that drastic. We spoke to the ANC Youth League president. He says that certainly action must be taken. Where does the ANC stand at this point? The ANC itself, not the ANC Youth League?
Well, in that case, transgressions, according to the ANC constitution, are dealt with at the level at which they occur. As indicated, we did say that we promote and respect the right of anybody to protest. If there's a view from structures of the ANC at any level that transgressions have transpired, then it's up to the leadership and membership at that level to deal with.
Thank you so much. That is Kusela Sangoni, the spokesperson of the ANC, indicating what happens now with the memorandum of demands that has been handed over to the Secretary-General of the ANC. Quite important that it is a matter that will be discussed, and as she indicated, that nothing is being discarded. Every issue that's being raised will be tackled, and we'll have to wait and see what the next step will be for the ANC with regards to the demands that are in the memorandum of demand. One of those demands as well is that fees commission that has been set up by President Jacob Zuma, that fees commission should also be disbanded. Earlier on, we spoke to the ANC Youth League President Colin Miner, as well as the Treasurer, the Treasurer General of the ANC Youth League, Regin Kabinde, indicating that they will be taking disciplinary action against ANC Youth League members who have participated in the hashtag Occupy Luthuli House movement. It's back to you in studio.
Thank you very much, Aldrin Sampear out there, Luthuli House, speaking to Kusela Sangoni, the ANC spokesperson.